There we go. Is it? Okay, well now I gotta go turn off the computer. Alright, so as of literally just now, oh, Wandering Trader. I figured out how to unmute my PlayStation 5. There's like 3 different ways to mute this thing. There's the mute button on the controller, then there's the mute in the sharing options, and well, I'm sure I can mute it in the Twitch stuff too. But anyways, hello everybody. Sorry about the silent stream of Borderlands pre-sequel earlier, and let's see. What's going on? I don't really need anything else. Okay, anyways. Yeah, so that was supposed to be my debut back into, or my return to what little streaming I did do almost a year ago. But yeah, I'm back-ish, kind of like still pretty busy, doing a lot of side projects, including testing out streaming stuff here and on the YouTubes. And what I was trying to say, actually, I still don't even trust this. Like, how do I know I'm not just talking to myself? Alright, yeah, my age is really showing. Let's see. Go to the Twitch. Yeah, only took me like 6 minutes to figure out how to unmute my microphone. Let's see, now? There we go, let's try that out. How's that sound? There we go, let's try that out. How's that sound? There we go, let's try that out. How's that sound? Wow, that's pretty loud. Let's try that. Okay, how's that? I mean, that's alright. If I'm coming off loud, I apologize. I just have to. Oh, actually. Yeah, no, that is loud. Let's turn that down a little bit. How's that? Okay, that's almost too quiet. No, I'm just kidding. This is just the sound. So much stuff going on here. Alright, how do I... Devices, maybe? Mic. Adjust mic level. There we go. Yeah, input volume. See, it's like... Wait, really? They think that's good? Let's go down a little more. I mean, especially if I get excited. I'm gonna... Yeah, okay, that's... Oh, see, and that's even like... Too low is there. Jeez. It's like I'm not even adjusting this thing. Like, look at this. I mean, I'm not getting that excited. I'm still pushing the boundaries. Okay, there we go. That was kind of a process. No, okay. No, it's got to stay all the way in the green, right? Like, not too far, not... Alright, well... Alright, good deal. Well, what have we learned from this? It's always good to have a second device handy when you're trying to stream. Okay, but we don't need to listen to ourselves. and such. So, anyways, yeah. So what I was trying to say in the entire last stream and the first, what, 7 minutes now in this, um, yeah, I'm trying to get back into doing a little streaming. Specifically, I'm still waiting for a time when I feel good enough to take on the second part of the GED test, because that is supposed to be next on the streaming thing. This is just for fun and just kind of like update, you know, my viewers. But oh yeah, a little background. This is my Minecraft world, my realm, and boom, there's lava grinder, cactus farm, pumpkin farm, like makeshift forest, a lot of fun stuff. But yeah, this is the best way for me to kind of like think and figure out like, actually, let's see. This is what I do when I'm trying to think of projects and all that and what I need to be doing. So specifically and recently, I feel like this is all I already practiced this whole spiel playing Borderlands earlier, like shooting things and blowing things up. Do I need? Yes, I do need a crafting table for that. Just trying to do fences because I'm trying to save these llamas because I keep trading with wandering traders, but I gotta take them out because they just trample the. Oh, we need sticks. We can do sticks. We're really just trying for like a fence. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. And actually, yeah, might as well get all 6. So, oops. Anyway, there, and there, and there, and there, and there, and there. Yes, because this does look weird. I'm just hoarding a bunch of llamas. You notice I already got 3 sets here. You can go back there. Got quite a few up there. Let's see. Quite a few. Like a llama party up here. All right, and yeah. So, projects that I work on in here while I work on projects out there. Specifically, and apologies to anyone who's ever checked out my Twitter page, it is like a raging dumpster fire of a political nonsense from time to time. Most of it is me trying out different. Yeah, see, I got another llama patch over here, but patch. Anyways, yeah, the Twitters. My gosh, it is a very interesting experiment into social engineering, practicing concepts of cybersecurity in live time or in real time with people interacting all sides of the aisle. Blah blah blah. Oh, politics though, it's just so it's exhausting. You know, or what is that like with friends like these? Because, and I'm not gonna get into it on a Twitch stream. Like, this is a safe place. I try to say, no politics in the thing, or at least keep it to a minimum. I know it slips up and all that. I just don't want to drag streaming down with it, because I do have a lot of fun making these videos, and I miss doing this stuff. So, like I was saying to myself when my mic was muted. I was watching some of my videos the other day, just like the open source computer science stuff, where I just talk about random computer science while playing video games. And it's true. Like I get my best thoughts. It's kind of like shower thoughts, or you do your best thinking when you're in the shower when you're relaxed and you're not thinking about thinking. If that makes sense, it makes sense if you don't think about it. But anyways, yeah. So where to pick off? Also, I gotta be careful because that side is definitely lethal, and I have not died in this map yet. So it's also why I don't play hardcore, because I do tend to die sometimes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I'm just making like. Oh, that's not right. That was one too many. Anyways, or was it? No, I didn't. Yeah, I'm just batting 1,000 today. But anyways, okay. So yeah, like I was saying in the silent stream to myself, I've been doing some experiments on the YouTube. Like 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that right? Yes. Mainly just trying some streams with the microphone muted and comments off, just kind of as like a kid-friendly mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did that really come out to? Oh well, too late. Anyways, yeah, just experiments like for the day when I let my own kiddos do some streaming. So it's gonna be fun. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, I want to make it just right, you know. Like I don't often build a lot of stuff for aesthetics. It's usually purpose. Like, you know, there's my melon farm. Doesn't look all that pretty. I haven't even finished that tower. The mob grinder, I usually just make those. I play in peaceful if you know haven't noticed too, because I don't got time to be dealing with mobs. 1, 2, try to do stuff. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Except when I am, and that's the nice thing is I can always just switch it into whatever. I mean, clearly anyone who's played Minecraft realizes this. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah, so the social engineering projects. I mean, and usually for anyone who's studied cybersecurity, that's kind of usually a negative thing. And yeah, that's right. I'm going to jump right into it. I was going to just explain my projects, but in order to explain the importance or the significance of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Yeah, so I just double counted that one. But anyways, it's useful to understand the purpose of it, because otherwise, just hearing about the things that I've been trying to do and like the conversations, it might seem a little, I mean, loony for a better term. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, just like out of nowhere. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 10. Especially a glutton for punishment. I mean, trying to bring up politics with people from opposing views, like that is just, you know, walking into a lion's den of just a bunch of nonsense that 1, 2, 3. A lot of people don't really need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the reason I do it is because I do have friends and family from all over, and they all believe different things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's not going to change. I mean, well, hopefully a little bit of it changes. Like, I'm not saying they need to like change parties or completely change who they are or whatever, but I'm hoping that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that it's just not going to matter. Like, we're going to evolve our government to where it's like, okay, whatever. I mean, all these problems that we had in the past, all the bickering, fighting, arguing, miscommunication, 1, 2, 3, because a lot of it is just miscommunication. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, people are in too much of a hurry to really dig to the deep of conversations and, you know, concepts. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and especially on Twitter. And that's kind of the thing. You know, this might even be partially a Twitter analysis because that ties into it. Also, now that we're getting here, we can do it this way. Guess we could have done it this way the whole time, but I don't know. And yeah, so social engineering, usually it stands, or it's a negative type of concept or idea. Like, the basic principle is you are trying to hack or manipulate human behaviors or human behaviors, you know. And this is still true, but it could be positive or negative. And since I am definitely a white hat, I mean, I know a lot of people like to say they're a gray hat. Well, I don't really buy that because, I mean, yeah, doing a good job would actually be considered illegal in a lot of countries, and that's why I won't actually be teaching any red teaming, because that is illegal to teach like straight up hacking. Kind of. I mean, like it's kind of a gray area, and I don't want to push it. I don't need to be in any kind of trouble, but I will be doing some blue teaming. That's what this is. So this is the positive version of social engineering, which is kind of interesting because that's like a lot of what I've been doing my entire life. Like, I never really had a name to put to it, but it was basically white hat, like being white hat, trying to make the greatest good for those around me, my community, my family, my friends. Like, what can I do to make sure that everybody is, you know, getting the most out of their lives, this country? And I know that sounds sappy, but it's really important. I mean, that's the basis of compassion. Like, and through compassion and through realizing these things, we actually enjoy our own lives a lot better. I know I do. I mean, I feel better. And not trying to toot my own horn. Like, I'm not some great thing. I'm not no, you know, yeah, well, we won't get into all that. But yeah, no, I'm not no, like, yeah, savior, hero, any of that. But what I am is someone who doesn't know how to turn their mind off and continually wants to work and think and tinker and figure things out until I feel good with it, and then I'll move on to something else. So, anyways, and the teaching thing. I've always wanted to be a teacher. Did tutoring in college. I tried to teach whenever I have the opportunity. And yeah, so anyways, rambling aside, social engineering, positive in a positive light. I just wanted to throw that disclaimer out there because before I start talking about a Twitter, of any kind, I do not want to make it seem, oh, I shouldn't have done the sides just yet. But anyways, that's fine. I don't want to seem like I enjoy the punishment of talking politics with people. I don't. I really don't. And, you know, except for the very end. Whoops. That's right. Once you're on a hill, these things kind of tend to creep up on you. So, anyways, it's worth it for the greatest good. And that's the focus of White Hat when it comes in regards to cybersecurity. And there are two main camps of cybersecurity. There is the tech aspect and there is the human aspect. And most people don't realize that the human aspect is actually the most vulnerable. Um, Guaranteed, actually. Like, um, that's what we've been seeing, a lot of my colleagues included. And it's like, you constantly see the reports, you hear the breaches, and a lot of it stems from a phishing campaign or, someone not having a strong enough password or someone storing their passwords in an unsafe or unsecure way. And these things, and like the things that I started to outline on my CodePen page, which, honestly, that's not the best way to do it. It's better to kind of like hear it explained. That way, and also you're not having to read. I know a lot of people, myself included, rather dislike reading documentation. But then again, in order to learn from this stuff, you got to put up with my very random rambling. So, well, random-ish. There is some method to the madness. But anyways, social engineering, in a nutshell, is trying to convince, persuade, kind of manipulate. I mean, but engineering in its essence, the term engineering is to construct or to design something, like to build or to create, engineer. And in that sense, positive social engineering, you could even say it with that preface, like, is where you're trying to encourage, inspire, empower, and otherwise change people's behaviors for the better. Oh, well, that's what, everybody's kind of trying to do. They're trying to help everybody out when they can, if it's not putting themselves out. And a lot of that I believe is true, especially according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where it states, we take care of our basic needs, our id and our ego, and then we feel altruistic and, well, not altruistic, I don't know, philanthropic. And then we're able to reach out and help others. And oftentimes, especially I know with America, we don't reach that because we've got these lofty dreams of being millionaires or superstars or rock stars or whatever. And it's like, I mean, it's kind of neat. That's why I like this whole streaming stuff, because in a way you can almost kind of feel like that. I mean, I definitely don't ever plan to become famous, but like just the fact that like, you're able to make a positive impact to people all around the world, from the comfort of your own couch. It's pretty neat. So, yeah, I've got these little like leftover teeth that like, yeah, just for like marking and measuring. Anywho, so yes, positive social engineering in regards to Twitter is, again, a dumpster fire. I would not recommend unless you are ready to kind of engage in arguments, but that's not the best way to look at it, because if you're doing it right, you're not arguing. You're discussing, you're persuading, you're either convincing or learning. And the last one's very important. You have to be willing to admit when you're wrong, or not even completely wrong, just, oh, maybe I didn't think about this aspect or this part of it. Like either way, you got to be able to walk back from whatever point, because you never know. You could be proved wrong. I get proved wrong. I don't want to say daily, but I definitely have a lot of facepalm moments. Also, that's glitching out. It should have gone here. I don't know. Anyway, sometimes I've noticed that and like another couple bugs, but overall, this game is just awesome. So, because it is so like meditation, and you just keep building things and building, and this is the whole thing from Dark Souls. I'm trying to recreate that like giant wall. Yeah, I play that game soon. But, anyways, yeah, social engineering in a positive light is engaging in discussion with people from around the world, all different walks of life, political views, religion. You got to get a very diverse inclusion into the group. Otherwise, you don't know if it's necessarily positive for everyone. And these are, great examples of corner cases and blind spots, which if you watch any of my videos, you'll know real quickly. I like to talk a lot about that concept in computer science because I do apply it to everything in life now. Every decision I make, I think it through at least like 3 or 4, maybe 20 times. Okay, not that much. I'm not that obsessive, except for on bigger decisions. So yeah, I got to finish it off that way or build a tower. Um, Anyways, but it's just anything worth doing is worth doing right, and anything worth doing right also includes some planning, some insight, educated guesses as to what's going to happen, how bad it could get, how good it could get, the benefits versus the risk. All of these things are important, not just in business decisions or computer decisions or, any decision in life can really tie back to that. Let's see, maybe I should work on the treehouse a little bit now. Got a ton of glass and I'm trying to make it like, yeah, that needs to be bigger. But anywho, yeah. So the whole Twitter thing, I mean, yeah, follow at your own risk because it is really. I mean, most of the time it's pretty benign. Like, especially lately, I've been trying to stay academic with it. I'm still very much wanting to keep my work life and my private life separate as much as I can because it is so dangerous. Like, and even it's good to know that people consider hacking as on par as munitions, like weapons. It can, if misused, take out entire governments, power stations, like all this stuff. That's why cyber warfare is such a big deal. And we've even been seeing quite a bit in the Ukraine conflict. And, I even had a whole thing up on, I posted it somewhere, not here. I'll have to see if I have the link. But, anyways, just studying the different types of attacks that are being seen in the war. But again, that's kind of like dipping into I mean, yes, anybody with an internet connection can go learn red teaming. Sorry, I need some water. Ugh. But anyone can learn how to hack. It's not like a secret. It's a YouTube search away, and that's why it's dangerous. Is because and that's why there's such a push for the common person to prepare themselves, secure themselves with blue teaming. Mm. Sorry, I should probably move my mic when I do that. Anyways, um, so yeah, right there, trying to think things through, which I did not take in a drink there, but I'm also currently thinking about how like I don't know, I sound like a mumbling kind of I feel like, but then when I hear it on the phone or the computer, it's like okay-ish. So I don't know, but anyways, putting some extra thought into your decision making process all the time, and just quick like that, and once you get more used to it. It's not that debilitating where it's like takes time out of your life, where you got to like think everything through to the point where you lose enjoyment out of life. You just think about, how can I make this the best possible situation for myself and then for others? I mean, maybe not focus so much on the self because really once you get your needs met, you need to be thinking, philanthropically. No, think outwardly. Also, I'm looking for dye. That's right. And I don't think that I put any in these. I put a ton of these barrels. I know I could just do chests, but barrels are fun. There we go. There's some. And oh, yep. Oh, all 8. Yeah. Let me make. Oh, that's because I didn't grab the. Sorry, I saw it, but I didn't grab it. Yep. You gotta mix bone meal with the green. This was actually nice that I have a cactus farm. Excuse me. What the? Oh. Oh, you know what? That's the better way to do it. All right, well, I'll save that glass for something else. I've got plenty. Like, I've got a whole furnace room that just, like, yeah. Oh, that is such a waste of dye. Anyways, because now I can do this. And chop the glass up. That sounds so bad. I'm also on my, like, 7th run through of watching Breaking Bad. Maybe 8th. I don't know. I love that show. And not because I aspire to be any kind of criminal or anything, quite the opposite. Like, if you want to study social engineering of a negative sort, you watch things like Breaking Bad and you start to pick it apart and start to realize why, like, how would these people even possibly get away with this stuff? And not because I'm out there, like, trying to be Johnny Law and arrest every crackhead and anyone who's got a substance abuse issue. And even saying crackhead, like, I felt weird about saying it because that relates to one of my social engineering campaigns, which is the relevancy and irrelevancy of labels. It's got a whole title and everything. And sorry, I'm trying to decide where I want to put the wall. Or
do I want to? I don't have a. I think I've got a ladder. I'm trying to think of like how to get up there and do like this whole number. Yeah, I can climb. Let's crouch and stay there. Anyways, yeah, the relevancy and irrelevancy of labels. And it's important for people to understand this, especially when dealing with law enforcement. If you want to ever be in law enforcement, if you ever end up being on the other end of law enforcement, like it's very, very important to understand the difference of why certain people use certain labels. So originally, and I have a lot of cop buddies. I have a lot of friends in corrections. I have a lot of people that have interacted with cops that I know. I know a lot of both sides. So we'll just put it that way. And the basis of it is originally labels were intended to properly identify people in certain situations, such as law enforcement have to do. Like, if you're trying to catch someone who just murdered someone, something that's really important that you don't just let happen. You need to identify who did it, who you think did it, and not let the person who did it get away with it. However, this also relates to another idea of criminal justice reform. Now, maybe not for murder, like that's still pretty high up there. We don't want to just let anybody willy-nilly just start offing people. Then that's not good. Sorry, I need to either get wood or start chopping trees, and I don't really feel like chopping a lot of trees. Let's go ahead and do this while I'm thinking of it. Anyways, maybe I'll chop some trees, whatever. So, because I'm just gonna, yeah, this does fall into the whole cybersecurity thing. So yes, the other thing to keep in mind with people who commit crimes, and again, this falls back to labels, is not everything like that is permanent. Like, yes, death is permanent. Murder is like something that, yeah, we still can't just allow that. But a lot of other things, almost everything else, is recoverable. Now, it might not be the best, might not be the most favorable, and people might not like it, but at the end of the day, I mean, if you're going to keep someone punished for life, you might as well just kill them. I mean, that's like, no, not seriously. Like, people can still live healthy lives if they get away from committing crimes. Like, and I still try to be more careful about the way I say things because I say it wrong all the time, and I'm trying to catch myself, I guess is a good way to put that. Because yeah, you don't want to say like someone's a criminal, someone committed a crime. And so the already just in changing that one little label, which might not seem that significant to you, it means the world to the person committing the crime. Now, and yeah, like hold up, wait, they're committing a crime. How dare they, what? How dare they deserve to breathe? Is it a death sentence to commit a crime? Like, it's not a good thing, but unless you kill somebody, you can pay it back, make it right. Like, nothing is permanent except for death, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, there's some things that are really messed up and you just still shouldn't do anyway. Specifically, let's see, should I try to keep this PG? No, I'll just say it's sex crimes. That's my biggest focus of like what, and a lot of cybersecurity professionals, what we're trying to track down and prevent and stop. Like, and specifically where my background comes in is college style sex crimes like rape. That's my biggest focus. Like, not my biggest, but it's up there. Like, of things that I wish did not exist in the world, and the reason to do projects like this, and to be white hat, and to think about how to also check this out. This is my nifty science experiment I'm going to do soon. Anyways, the whole purpose of getting into a career in cybersecurity, because it doesn't just stop at protecting the company you work for. It involves being involved with your community, with anyone around you, like especially protecting your community, protecting the elderly, protecting the less technically inclined, anyone who might be more susceptible to an attack. And yes, I realize the irony of streaming and even including like a lot of personal information in my socials, but you know what? I figure if someone's going to come at me, they can come at me, but that's not a challenge. I'm just saying, like, and also I'm monitored by a lot of people. It's not just, I don't want to scare people away, but it's like, at any given time, there could be quite a few alphabet agencies just being like, oh, let's see what's going on here. But not because of anything bad, but like, I hope to have some breakthroughs with my research and my studies, and I do hope to help my government first and every government after that. So that's kind of the pecking order, if you will. And actually, that's an important thing to bring up, too. When I say that I've been doing this my whole life, it's like I've basically lived in a way that would be, trying to be the best person I can. And I feel like we all do that to some degree. We just, don't often know how to do it or how to go about it. I certainly am not an expert on it still. Like I said, I've been trying to do it as long as I've known what it's like to be awkward, I guess. Putting myself in someone else's shoes, being sympathetic, compassionate, etc. Just thinking bigger than myself. Because yeah, and the best story for that, Ubuntu. And I know I'm drifting way off of the social engineering, the labels, but we'll get back to that. But Ubuntu, I saw it again in this thing from Kenya, like the concept, and it reminds me of the story I heard. It could be a meme, it could be a fake story. Who cares? The moral is what's important. And I know this type of behavior is pretty typical of, let's say, not less fortunate countries, just countries that haven't really had the chance to catch up with certain things, but they're also still thriving in others, which is important to remember. But anyways, rather than saying poor countries, but sorry, talking a lot. Anyways, so Ubuntu, the story that I remember seeing, I think it was on the Facebooks or something, doesn't matter. It was where a couple of anthropologists were studying this African tribe, and they were hanging out, and they say, hey, we'll give you a basket of fruit, we'll put it over by that tree, and the first person to get there gets to eat the fruit. And so they expected this race, the whole American idea of competing and competition and constant, like, got to be better, got to, even if it's at a disadvantage to my fellow person, I got to be better. So unhealthy athleticism, but honestly, all competition can be taken too far, blah, blah, blah. That's a whole nother soapbox. Actually, a whole nother project too. I have like almost not a title, but I have a whole concept on it. But anyways, so what happens is the kids get up, they hold hands, and they skip over to the basket, and then they just start to eat all the fruit. When the people ask, like, why didn't you want to be there first? And one of the kids said, said Ubuntu. If one of us is having a good time and the others aren't, then I'm not having a good time. And I think they said it a lot more elegantly than that, but that's basically the crux of it. Is like, if I'm enjoying all of this, but yet my other friends aren't, then I'm not enjoying this. And that hits home because it's like you see these videos, and especially with streaming too, like, everybody wants to be a Mr. Beast, but nobody wants to do the charity, at least until they have enough money to start giving away. And that's true too, and important to think about is like, if we all had $1 million, I'll bet you most of us would be turning around and giving it out like Mr. Beast does. That's just, that is Maslow's, and I have to think that it's, true, although I think it's heavily influenced in the pain, time, effort, or work, or whatever. Maybe even it's just pure luck with people inheriting their money, but something about the current way that we make wealthy people, and not all wealthy people included. Like, I don't care what you think about Elon Musk. The dude has done a lot of good for the world. I mean, he might be making a hell of a profit of it, but he's doing some good. I mean, and that gets me in a lot of hot water too, because it's like a lot of people that follow me on the Twitters, they do not like Elon Musk. We'll just put it that way. And it's like, oh, if I speak out for him as like a tech professional and I appreciate his work and stuff, oh. So, anyways, and I don't think Mr. Beast gets all biased with it either. I haven't watched a whole lot of his stuff. I mean, I have, but not like. It's usually on the background because I'll admit it's more of a thing I let the kiddos watch. So. And I'll listen to it. It's really cool. And like the one where he did the eye surgery thing, definitely like out of the park. I'd even watch it again. Like that kind of sentimental stuff, I'm sappy for. But anyways, it kind of ties into the global security because especially if you're doing it across borders, if you're showing that good sign of faith, and again, sorry, I forgot where I was going with that. If we all had $1 million, we'd probably give away like a tenth of it or something. I know if I had $1 million, I'd give at least the tenth to my best buddy. We have a deal actually. So like if we win the lotto, we give the other person $1 million by way of a smack in the face with it. So in a briefcase nonetheless. But anyways, I digress. Like I'm able to do a lot of stuff for my community without having any money, and trust me, there's no money. But that's why I'm also not a big target for hackers. Like, yeah, you could get bragging rights, like, oh, you won up to a beginner cybersecurity professional. I've only been in the field for less than a year, so it's like, ooh, good job, you took out an intern. So it's not really the bragging rights or the elite respect. If anything, it's more of a disrespect in the community. But the important thing is is, even if I did have a lot of money, try to act in ways that wouldn't harbor ill will or resentment towards you, and not just doing philanthropy just so you won't get mugged. That's not the idea. Is trying to impact places of the world that feel the need to mug, specifically like scamming and online, stuff like that. We're far from done with it, but at the same time, I think we're getting close. And I got to be careful because one of my cybersecurity techniques was a little unethical, and I'm not going to go into it right now. But needless to say, it involved India and scammers. And yeah, I learned my lesson pretty quick. I was like, no, that's not cool. So, anyways, India, I actually just got back from there. I went and visited on a trip. It was awesome. And I gotta say, they are doing awesome. Like, I thought all I had to go on, sorry, let me back up a little bit. All I had to go on, for the most part, was Slumdog Millionaire. And that's it. And that's okay to admit, as long as you don't try to make too many decisions based on it, or even opinions, or conversation, or even pretend like you know anything about it, because that is a very poor insight into it. And it's perfectly okay to say, I don't know enough to really have an opinion. That's fine. That's actually me with a lot of politics too, because I don't really follow it enough. So I have no idea. Like, I just know what I don't like, and I try to, fix that. And I think a lot of people do that too. Anyways, if everyone had $1 million, they'd give some away. Yeah, okay, we covered that. And so, what can we do without $1 million? Well, like I was saying to myself in the last stream, playing the pre-sequel, I'm actually doing a project where I'm going to be using a Red Key USB, which I'll have to see if I can put the description out there too. It's a really awesome product. I've seen it demoed, doing this thing for class. See, I was hoping I could. What should I get into this habit of? Oh, I can do that. I'm such a hoarder, even on this game. I don't like leaving things behind. I do like risk it for the biscuit. There we go. Anyways, the whole idea is global security, global prosperity, to the point where people won't feel the need to scam. They won't feel the need to steal, because and already there's a lot of deterrence. You get caught, you get in trouble, you go to jail. Maybe if you get caught hacking people from around the world, especially if your country doesn't like that country or for whatever reason, chances are you might not get in trouble at all. And so that's the thing, that's the sad reality, is like, well, not sad reality in the sense of like, oh, how dare they? That's not right. That's not, law abiding. It's like, no, what's the moral thing to do? If people are starving, and even not even to that point of extreme, like if people are just having a really bad time and like working hard and they're not really getting the benefits of anything, and they see everyone else getting the benefits, i.e. like watching some of these YouTube streams and being like, oh, like people really live like that, of course they're going to feel like at least the impulse to do something like that. And that's human nature. Like, we can't fault people for feeling that impulse. We can fault them for acting on it, and that's the big difference. So then it becomes a game, like a numbers game. Like, how can we make it to where not only is the punishment severe enough to where they wouldn't want to commit the behavior, the crime, or how can we make the benefits of not committing the behavior or crime? And see, that's what people often don't think about. It's like, well, wait, what if we did preventative maintenance? See what I did there? I actually used to do preventative maintenance at a wind turbine factory. So funny enough how I would think that way. Like, oh, if we could do it for, millions of dollars of machinery and equipment, why wouldn't we do it for people? Like, we're pretty valuable. Why wouldn't we put in the time and effort to be like, all right, how do we fix people? Well, okay, so there's Minority Report, that whole thing where Tom Cruise goes, predicts the future and starts arresting people before that. No, that's like punitive measures on crack. Like, or steroids. Let's try to stay with the drug references. All right, so that's like supercharged. Steroids are kind of messed up too. Anyways, it's turbocharged. There we go. We're playing video games. Basically, you're punishing people before they even know that they did anything wrong, and that's just not right. That's not okay. So, but the opposite, if you encourage the behavior, sorry, I completely forgot to get wood. I got a lot of pumpkins. Ugh. I have a village over yonder. In fact, we might go trade here in a bit, but I don't want coral let out because then it dries out. I've made that mistake. Don't need leads. I'm walking around with diamonds. Emeralds. Let's just stash it here for now. Anyways, um, I mean, I'm the only one in the world, so I don't have to worry about people stealing it. Hopefully. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, preventative maintenance when it comes to law enforcement. How awesome would it be if we didn't have to enforce the laws, if they enforce themselves? Well, that's utopia in a nutshell. And it's not that far off if we just did a few things, just adjusted a few tweaks to society and common practices, stuff like that. Big thing is communication. And actually, I do want to take a sec to go back to one of my favorite classes in college. It wasn't a tech class, or at least it was technical journalism. So, compared to the classes where I'm learning, well, it's like cosine similarity, databases, data structures, all this complex algorithms and stuff. And then I get to this class, oh, we're going to learn about communication technology. And I look around I mean, I'm happy because I'm tired of getting, just getting worked on by all the hard classes. So it's like, okay, maybe I'll take it easy in this class. It'll be easy. And it actually was. Sorry. I mean, not to I don't want to lie. It was an easy class compared to all the tech classes I was taking. But hold on. It was the most insightful class. It changed my mind about, well, other classes in general. And my degree is actually pretty unique. It's a business computer science hybrid degree that's actually fitted more for IT and cybersecurity. So there's that, but complete with a business minor with a focus on international business. So I do kind of know a little bit about social engineering, positive and negative, when it comes to business, when it comes to the world of tech. Like, I got all of that from this degree. I mean, not a lot. That's why I wanted to go back for my master's, but I got enough to start being useful, productive in the field. So, and as such, yeah, of course, I do IT by day. IT by day. Oh shoot, I stream by night rarely, and then I'm almost always thinking of how I can do something. Especially that's why I've latched onto Twitter's, because it's like the least amount of effort for the most amount of work on my side projects. Because all I got to do is continue to spread thoughts and ideas. Oh, and that's the other thing, trying to make them as communicable or as viral as possible. And viral is kind of a negative word, what with the whole COVID and everything, but that's a good time to talk about encapsulation and portability, which are big concepts in computer science, especially if you want to go the software route. You need to learn how to code in ways that are portable, replicable. You don't want to do obscurity when you're coding, because even though it might be job security, like what was that story about doing all of Microsoft Office once in recursion? I think it was something Microsoft, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, you don't want to do that. Same with cybersecurity. You don't want to do security through obscurity. In fact, a lot of the cybersecurity stuff is open source. And like I said earlier, you can learn how to hack. All it takes is a few YouTube videos. It's not that hard, but it's hard to not get caught, and that's the key. And again, that's only one method of reducing undesirable behavior and tendencies and crime and all that. But even just undesirable behavior, sneaky behavior, shiftiness. We don't want to encourage people to act in such ways. And they don't, too. And that's why I love, sorry, back to the spiel with India. I got there and I thought, Slumdog Millionaire. And I didn't even really watch that movie all the way through. My attention span's not that great. But I just saw a bunch of dirt. It was just all grungy. And, people were yeah, it was not like that at all. I mean, yeah, it had its pockets of, you could tell people were kind of living a little below their means, but nothing worse than what we have, especially the tent cities out in Portland, Oregon, or even here in Colorado with Denver. We've got so many homeless people, or well, sorry, that's another thing about the labels. People experiencing homelessness is actually a better way to say it. Now, I'm still working on that too, because I'm so quick to say, oh, the homeless people. But again, that's pigeonholing them into an idea that they're only going to ever amount to a homeless person. And so then and even if they don't even believe it at first, they're going to believe it a little on the inside. And you can't deny it. We've all been there. We're our worst critics. And it's if you're not empowered, if you're not inspired, it's so much easier to just give up, take the easy way, get the easy grade, get the easy money, break the law, whatever the case may be. And a lot of that is because a lack of empowerment, a lack of faith, a lack of competence, like in your fellow person. I mean, and all it takes is like a sideways glance or, like a scoff or just being rude. Like it automatically makes people start thinking like, wait, did I do something wrong? Am I doing things wrong? Like, you know, especially when judging people. I love the quote, every finger you point at someone, there's three pointing back at you. And I've been saying that way before Bullet Train, but I know I wasn't the first one to think of it. Like, we've had fingers since the dawn of time, or dawn of recorded time that we know about. But yeah, history, sorry. Recorded history. We've known that we've had fingers. Actually, even farther than that. Like, because history is kind of considered when we started writing things down. We knew we had fingers when we were drawing the cave paintings. Maybe not all of them, but pretty sure I've seen fingers in some of them, and if not, shortly after. Anyways, the point is, I'm not the first to be like, oh, if I point at something to like try to, there's three back at me. So, anyways, very long story, not so short. I love Bullet Train. It's an awesome movie. And also why I love Breaking Bad. I know I was talking about that and I digress, but it's because I like studying the human behavior. Not because I want to be it, not because I want to go out and, cook a bunch of meth and get guns and like all this stupid stuff. Like nobody really wants to do that. They want to have the recognition of being able to do that, or they want to be able to prevent that. And not even recognition, what's a good way to say that? Like to have the comfort of being in such a spot where you can afford to do such things. And actually, and that's what's cool about Breaking Bad, is a lot of it isn't so glamorized. Like, yeah, they kind of make it seem like cooking meth is like you go and whistle about while you're working through your day, but they make sure to show all of the negative things that go with that lifestyle. And I don't know. I mean, I've never been in any of those situations, but I know people who have been in kind of similar situations. Definitely not to that scale. That's like, ugh, I hope nobody ever gets to that point. And that's why it's like pseudo fantasy, because it could very well be real. You don't know. I mean, maybe there are people out there like that. We hear about Scarfaces and Capones and stuff, but how hard would it be now? Well, I can answer that actually very hard, because we've got eyes everywhere. And by we, I mean cybersecurity professionals, law enforcement professionals, Department of Corrections professionals, and anybody who's just tired of being in trouble. Like, oh, sorry, heard a noise. That's the other thing. Like, I haven't been streaming a whole lot because I have a lot of new neighbors, and I don't know how loud my voice really carries. Like, I have my headphones on, so I'm not like blasting gunshots with Borderlands and stuff. I'm at least trying to be considerate, but my voice does carry. Anyways, see, and that's the thing, compassion. Like, I don't know these people, but I got to live with them, you know, and I see them in passing. And how awkward is it if you act a fool and then you have to see your neighbor out in the street, be like, oh, sorry, I was a complete jackass. Like, sorry. Oh yeah, this isn't a kid stream. Anyways, I try not to curse. I do have kiddos, but I also teach them adult words. And that's a scalable concept for parenting. So, pro tip for anyone else who has kids or is thinking about having kids, just tell them that adult words are bad words. And that way, if you say a bad word, it's okay. You're an adult. Or at least you should act like an adult and not say bad words all the time, because honestly, who really cares? You're not that tough. Sorry. Anyways, there's better ways to say things that you mean it like that. And if you want to be tough, you can be tough without swearing. But then saying that you can do that, you can be tough without using adult words in excess. There you go. Because I even let them slip at any time. Like, I hit my hand with a hammer, the classic cliche. Yeah, I'll swear. But I'm an adult and I'm allowed to. Now, I make sure to tell the kiddos, like, hey, if you say an adult word, there's a chance you'll get in trouble. Now, you maybe not. I mean, a lot of people in entertainment say bad words. People in music say bad words, especially my music. I listen to gangster rap from the 90s. Like, yeah, it's pretty bad. So, not around the kids all the time. Tend to listen to edited stuff when possible. But anyways, I digress. But I'm excused by the scalable concept of the problem-solving method of adult words. And that's a long roundabout way of saying, whenever you're trying to fix a problem, find a solution to some issue or something that you need to do better or have happen better, try to do it in the best way possible. Anything worth doing is worth doing right is a really basic way of saying scalable solutions. That way you don't have to keep fixing the same problem or keep doing the same thing, even though I do the same thing all the time with Minecraft because it's just so relaxing. Anyways, and like a lot of people, I don't need to tell a lot of people, Minecraft is just really peaceful until it's not. Like if I wasn't squatting, I'd fall off that. I also didn't know you could creep like that. I think they call it creeping because when you squat, yeah, you don't get burned by what are they? Magma blocks. Are they magma blocks in this one? Anyways, you don't get burned by them if you creep on it. You move slow, but you also don't fall off the edge of things. And I had no idea about that. I was trying to build things without knowing I could get up to the edge and place blocks. Like it was revolutionary learning that one little tactic in Minecraft. That was how I built. Where is it? That giant thing. Would have never been able. Well, would have taken a lot of dirt blocks. I'll say that. So, anyways, and that's another concept too that I keep bringing up in the whole Twitter nonsense and all of my projects, all my streams. I try to like, not all of them, but anyways. Um, Sorry, where I was going with that. The idea that you are fallible. You're not some, amazing god or goddess. You're not the world's best gift to anything. It's kind of like almost Fight Club mentality, but not quite to that extreme. It's to keep you in check. Everybody should keep a bit of not composure, but humility. There you go. Because everybody can make mistakes. I make mistakes almost daily. I mean, and that's actually the best way. That's why I am so successful in IT is because I've just made so many goofs, so many blunders, and then I learn from it. I am that bull in the china shop, and I smash through every plate just so I know how to smash a plate, or how a plate can be smashed. There you go. I don't intentionally break things in real life. Don't get me wrong. Like I don't commit crimes. But if it comes to tech, yeah, that's testing in a nutshell. It's like, oh, how can I break this, or what's the stress threshold for this, technology or this piece of hardware? Not every time. Like you don't want to redline everything and burn it out, but you at least want to know, like, okay, did someone else do that so I don't have to? And then, or is this going to fit my needs? Or is it strong enough, durable enough, all that good stuff? That's testing. So I also like to test people, which is kind of weird, but I think we all do to a point. We test, how far are our limits with this person? What can I get away with? What can I not? What should I do? What should I not? How do I behave accordingly? Do I and this is a sad reality too, is do I care? And that's a concept I've kind of noticed, like moving from a small town to a big city. Like that is definitely a thing. That's why small town people are a lot more genuine on average, is because you don't get away with anything in a small town. If you do something messed up, your neighbor's gonna hear about it. Your mom's gonna hear about it. Your cousin's gonna hear about it. Your cousin was probably there when you did it, but like, so anyways, in a city, not so much. And it's like that whole accountability piece. I thought I was dead there. Also, that bugs me. A lot of floating stuff. I'll go get it eventually. Maybe I can reach it now. But anyways, yeah, accountability. It's big, and that's why I think that, not saying that city people are all like that. I mean, especially people that tend to hang out with the same people repeatedly. Like there is that layer of accountability just through community and the little communities that we create. Um, was that the one I was looking at? Maybe. You feeling like that is? It doesn't look like it's disappeared much. Okay, maybe not. Anyways, I think they did an update. Like, it used to be a lot harder to. It used to be a lot harder to harvest this stuff. Mm. Yeah, I feel like that's getting into that tree. Oh, I think I might be getting sick. Anyways, accountability, it's big. And it also helps with compassion because not only do people know when you screw up, they know when you do something good too. Like and they don't even outright say it. And again, not to toot my own horn, but I've tried to be the best that I can growing up and to be a good person and to treat people with respect and kindness, regardless of anything. Because it started out probably as like, oh, because if I don't, I'll get in trouble. And I say that because a lot of the people I know are the same way, and I've seen a lot of people in the city not be like that. So that either tells me there's some other factors, or there's a chance that that until people realize what they're doing, they might keep doing it. Actually, when you say it that way, it's pretty obvious. Like, unless you realize that it's really putting someone out or putting that someone at a disadvantage or, hurting someone's feelings even or making their life miserable, whatever you want to call it, if there's negativity from it that's apparent, then you're probably less likely to do the behavior, unless there's other factors like that's how you were raised or there was some hardships or, there's a whole, well, I mean, there's whole college degrees on studying not so much the criminal mind, but human behavior to the point of why people would behave in such a way that would break laws or, hurt society, hurt community. So, anyways, that's a little deep, but what was I saying? Accountability. Also, how long have I been streaming? Where did I see that? I think it's on the. Yeah, I saved a 19-second clip to finally figure out how I was not muted, or how I was muted. Let's see, just to make sure. Yeah, even though I know I had sound earlier in the video, I still don't trust it because it's like something could have happened. I could have pushed the mic button, which on the PlayStation 5, there's a button where you can mute yourself, or there's a button on my headphones that I can mute myself. And I've done that before. So, like I said, the bull in the china shop to break every plate in order to know how to not break plates in the future. Granted, a lot of the stuff I do doesn't cause as much damage as a broken plate, but it's still a blunder all the same. A goof, a facepalm moment, whatever you want to call it. Oh, and yeah, to tie that back into the importance of that or the relevance of that, it is through that humility and that image of being, excuse me, that image of being fallible, other people start to trust themselves better. They start to trust you better because sometimes it comes off as fake, as if you're just like, oh, I'm perfect and nothing ever really happens. Like, not to me, no. We learn that in kids' books. Like, just somewhere along the lines, we forget it as we grow up. Probably from lack of accountability and lack of reinforcement, positive or negative. Because, people won't want to take the time to be like, hey, that was kind of messed up. Maybe you shouldn't do that next time. Or it comes off as insincere or pompous, or there's so many different ways that direct kind of behavior manipulation can fail. And at the end of the day, it is not manipulation, behavior alterance. I don't know. There is a better word for that. I'm just not thinking of it right now. And that's the thing too. Like, listening to me is pretty hard work because I do go back and forth like this. And this is what I do most of my day. I'll sit here playing Minecraft and just be thinking and tweeting and thinking and tweeting. So, but that's okay. I mean, as long as I got wood now. Now I could really build a bunch of stuff. So yeah, let's go add an addition. I never found out how long this was. Hold on. Let's see. I'm sure I can see it somewhere. It's been so long. Oh yeah, there we go. There's the duration at the top. We're only at an hour. That's fine. I was just saying on the other video when I was muted, maybe I'm not cut out for Twitch as much because I don't like to sit and talk for like hours at a time. And that's true. I mean, my throat's pretty dry. I'm probably gonna head out soonish, and by head out I mean keep playing Minecraft, but just not streaming. No, that's not true. Actually, I do have some other stuff. I just did the dishes. I did laundry earlier, so I'm good. I'm caught up on like house chores stuff, but gonna have to sacrifice some lumber. Wait, where'd it go? Wait, am I not? Ow, it's glitching. I was like, I swear I did it. All right. See? Think about a workaround, and look at that. Even though we saw a glitch, a bug, and honestly, seeing a bug like this so rare and like that, there's two that I've noticed. There's that one, and then there's the one where, and other people have reported it too. When you're like, when you're doing this, but with vegetables or produce or sorry, when you're doing it with crops, there you go. When you're farming. But now that I have that was the whole point of it. So you do it old school and try to craft from memory. I'm not that good at Minecraft to craft from memory. I'll say that right now. And I don't care. That's okay. I think I'll sleep at night. But let's do that. Let's... Ugh. God, good lord. All right. So, yeah, need some of that. Need some of actually just a lot of that stuff. Although I was trying to use what was that, planks, right? Slabs. There we go. The planks. Jeez, that's planks. Sorry. Yeah, like I said, we're all fallible. We're all capable of goofs. Specifically, and actually, what do I want to? Trying to think of where to put a ladder. I don't really have a. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you can jump like that. How can I make it really hard to do? No, I'm gonna fix it. That's not good. But for now, should I? No. Oh man, this was not that hard just a second ago. There we go. All right. Anyways, and now I'll put some of these. Also, I gotta be careful because yeah, that's death. That's definitely death. And actually, that's a good point. I don't want to. Whatever. Actually, I want to do this anyway. So, how I made this one is I just branched off from the corner of my initial room. This was the first room. And I built a very tall tree. Actually, it's like 3 or 4 jungle trees stacked on top of each other. And then I do want to build all the way up too. Oh, yeah, I did the same thing over there, or something similar. I only did like 2. So that's that trick. If you wonder how people build such a big tree so fast, you can grow one by using 4 saplings. You can't place them on these, but anyways, 4, like I did. Oh, like I was doing over there, like in a square, and then you put 4 dirt blocks on the very top, and then you grow another one, and then you can either. I think I even took the dirt out and replaced it with wood, and then I later put these planks around it, so it didn't really matter. But now, and I don't even know if I did. Like sometimes I leave the dirt too, but I don't know. That's just the difference between putting the extra time into your build and, you know, taking the dirt away, putting the wood in, so it's just one giant tree. And as long as the leaves are touching a piece of wood, you're fine. So, or a log, I should say, because I don't think it's. I don't know. I haven't tested that with planks, but anyways, the whole point of that. I'm trying to think. I'd like to keep connecting trees, but I haven't made another big tree. So I'm just gonna. Oh, and eventually I want to go over there. Yeah. So let's kind of build that way and just keep going. All right. I think I did slabs. Oh. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I gotta get more water. Oh. Actually, I think I covered quite a bit of stuff in this stream. I feel pretty good about it. Ugh. Especially since I've been sitting here playing for so long. I'm just thinking, oh, this would be great for a stream. Oh, this would be great. Well, now I have a PS5, and it makes it super easy. So, I'm not trying to gloat or anything. I grew up poor, so I'm not really used to that type of thing. Anyways. Oh, compassion, relatability too. Putting yourself in other people's shoes. That's also important. Not saying everybody should go like try to see what it's like being poor for a while. Although it couldn't hurt. You know, there's a story with this guy I know from back home. Worked in the prison, and he was the prison reintegration specialist. And the significance of that and he also taught my community college class for English, so that was pretty cool. But he went and lived to see what it was like as an inmate returning to society. Whew. And I could not be a professor. Whew. Talk for like an hour. or 2 hours, 3 hours. Anyways, yeah, no, he went. He had the voucher. Yeah, we're just gonna do the remember squat. um, he went out to see what it was like with just the money that they would give you if you're leaving prison, and I think there's a hotel voucher involved. So you have like a free hotel stay for I don't even know how long it was. I think it was only like 3 days. So you get like 3 days in a hotel. You know, you get like an outfit or two, and I don't even know. It was horrible. And he was in a homeless shelter by the end of the week or like within a couple weeks. I mean, he just it didn't work. He's trying to get a job, trying to do everything like, especially with a criminal record, and that's a big thing is like if you have um if you've been to prison, then you have to basically work either minimum wage jobs or jobs that not a lot of people even really want for a good 10 years. And then once you're past the 10-year mark, I mean, some places are a little more forgiving, and that's awesome. Like, especially considering the type of crime. Like, why were you in prison? I mean, if it was murder or something, yeah, maybe it's going to be like the full 10 years, maybe even longer, because murder is pretty messed up, even if it's accidental. I actually knew a guy that he accidentally killed his cousin, accidentally. And I believe it, like some of us have been in fights, I should say. I mean, not everybody has been in a fight, and I hope not everybody has been in a fight. I've been in a couple. I mean, nothing major, but no. Anyways, I could see how it could get out of hand. And that's what happened in this situation. This guy wasn't some malicious person out there like breaking the law, like robbing banks and selling drugs and like, knocking up your daughter or anything like that. Like, no, this guy was just a normal person working. He was into the bar with his cousin. His cousin was being a jerk, mouthed off to him. They got into a fight, killed him, not even instantly either. Like, he beat him up, and then the guy went to the hospital, and he died later. So it wasn't even like cold blooded, like premeditated, or any of these other labels you can throw on it. I mean, murder is pretty bad, but like unintentional, like things got out of hand, but yet he still had to serve a term for murder. And so it's like people like that. I mean, granted, he got out into the halfway house situation after spending 10 years in prison. 10 years. Can you imagine? Like, especially for an accident. Like, yeah, it's not a good idea to fight people. Well, okay, tell that to somebody if, like, say you get punched in the head. Okay, you're just going to smile and nod? Like, no, I'm going to punch him back. Like, or at least, react. I don't know. Anyways, I digress. But that's why it's important to have compassion and understanding. Not because, you know, they deserve your respect because they're OG gangster or whatever. They call the shots in prison or whatever. Like, no. They deserve your respect because they're a human being. At the end of the day, they're not much different from you. And the only thing that really separates them from you is that you might not have gotten into that fight that one day and, made someone accidentally die. So that's how easy anyone can dip into that. Sorry, this is really dark, but that's the sad reality of it. And that's why things like this are so important and compassion is so important because if people aren't compassionate for you, you could end up in a cell and for 10 years. And that's why I bring that up because people say, "Oh, 10 years for murder, that's not too bad, like it's an auction or something." But your college experience is 4 or 5 years unless you really struggle at it like I did and take closer to 10. But I also almost got like 2 degrees, so anyways, it washes out. My point is 4 years is a long time. 5 years is a long time. High school happens in 4 years. Well, again, you could get held back or you could have to go back. But either way, for most people, an entire experience of 4 or 5 years is like, oh, sorry, distracting. It's a bunch. You don't want to, do it lightly. Like, because the entire time you were in high school, you'd be sitting in a cell with other people sitting in cells. Like, people don't grasp the idea of what it's like to go to prison. It's like, you're not doing anything. You're in a room, and then there's another room. Oh, I go eat in this room. I even sleep in the same room that I use the toilet. Like, that's how, like, people have to live for years. And we're like, oh, yeah, 10 years seems fair. It's like, no, it's inhumane. It's ridiculous. It's outdated. And luckily it is changing. So like I said, this one guy I know, I won't use any names, but he got out. He was in the halfway house. And as far as I know, like he continued, went on, get his own place. he's finally living normal again, like as normal as he can be. Still working some pretty crappy jobs for a while, but eventually people come around. It's like, okay, you murdered someone when you were like a teenager. Okay, whatever. But and actually, I don't even know how old he was when he did it. But he was working construction. I know that, but that doesn't really narrow it down because when I worked construction, I worked with people of all ages, and that's another thing about labels and not pigeonholing yourself or other people into things. Like just because you used to build houses, I built houses. You know, that doesn't make me a house builder. That reminds me of a funny joke. Should I tell that? It's pretty bad. This could be adult words time. Don't worry, it'll be all right. An Easter egg hidden at what is it? An hour and 14 minutes? Yeah, okay, I can do that. All right, so there's this guy in this bar. We'll call him McGregor for, convenience. And he's there. Can I do this? This is interesting. Should I do this? Why not? And then what does it look like with glass? Sorry, I just got way distracted, but how did I do the other one? Oh yeah, that's right. Let's do it with those because more headroom. Sorry, I don't like throwing things down, even though I know they're not going to disappear just yet. But anyways, we can leave that original block there. But oh yeah, sorry, joke time. Well, what's 1 hour or what's another minute after you've been around an hour? But anyways, what should I do? Yes, that's right. So, I hate it when it does that. So there's a guy in the bar, McGregor, and he's talking to his other buddy, also McGregor. No, they're not cousins. Oh, Jesus, that just got dark. I'm sorry. My buddy's gonna be so mad at me. He's gonna be like, dude, what the hell? Like, anyways, no, and that is really messed up, and already I feel guilty about it. But I joke about it because I know he's doing well. He was doing well when I knew him. Like, and I haven't seen him in many years, unless he. Oh God, and see that's the thing. You got to be careful because you don't know. You don't want to make assumptions like that. Anyways, then we'll cap it off like that. There. No, so the joke, whatever. And actually, that's not cool. I shouldn't have laughed at that. I hope he's doing okay. Even if he's not, and this is why I like to think in scalability, or in terms of scalability versus one-off solutions, or hard coding is also how it's considered. But if I'm successful in even changing a little bit of criminal justice reform, which I don't even have to be the only one doing it because there are a lot of people out there advocating for it, trying to make it to where people like my friend, they don't sit in prison for 10 years for something like that. Like, that's just ridiculous. I mean, I get it. A loss of a life is hard. But, and that goes back to the whole concept of why I use adult words with my own kiddos, because they see me start swearing, they're like, wait, why can he swear and we can't? Like, it's an age thing. An age thing doesn't really make sense to a lot of people. It never made sense to me. Like, I mean, it kind of did, but at the same time, it was like, wait, why? Like, why can't I do these things? Oh, because you'll get hurt, or you'll hurt somebody. Well, not if you train me to do it right. Like, if you teach me how to do it the correct way, the safe way. And actually, that's a good point too, because my dad raised me to shoot guns as early as like second and third grade. So I was shooting a lot of guns. I had guns. I owned my first rifle in third grade, and it's like I never hurt anybody, did anything weird with them, messed up or anything. So, anyways, I digress. In order for something to make sense and stick to where the kids will actually listen, or grown-ups, you got to make it make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, they're less likely to care. So, especially even less likely than that to do anything about it. Okay, I do need to do that. So I was looking around like, what do I still need to do? It's okay to walk backwards in this one because this is actually a more finished room. I say more because I still don't even trust myself. Like, I might have left a door open or an opening or something. In fact, I should probably go finish that off for that very reason. I don't want to accidentally just walk off a cliff. I've done it. So, anyways, like I said, bull in a china shop. So, the joke: McGregor's sitting there talking to Bob. Joe and Bob are sitting at the bar. Anyways, not important. Or no, it has to be McGregor. So, McGregor goes to Bob. He's like, "You see that street out there? I laid that street brick by brick, mortar by mortar. Or no, sorry, cobblestone by cobblestone, pebble by pebble. You know, and so they. But do people call me McGregor the street builder? Nah." And they take a drink of their beers. And McGregor points down the street to a schoolhouse. "Hey, you see that schoolhouse? I built that schoolhouse brick by brick, mortar by mortar." See, that's what I was supposed to say this time. And he's like, "But do they call me McGregor the school builder? Nah, but you fuck one goat." Sorry, okay, that's the one adult word I'll use on the stream. I don't think anyone's even here, so it's all right. But, um, yeah, and that's just the thing. It's like you are your actions. Something to keep in mind. Build schools. Don't do the other thing. Ooh, actually, you know what I could do? Just like the corner is there. Just start, and I do this a lot with my builds. I'll just start introducing new ideas and changing things like this is creative mode or something. I like it. It doesn't make sense. It wouldn't work in the real world. It's not physically possible. Or not physically probable, I should say. I'm sure they could do this. Depends on your parameters of what's acceptable. So, anyways, where was I going with all that? Oh yeah, telling a joke at hour and 20 minutes. There we go. And even this, see, now I have a similar problem. Like I don't have stairs or ladders to like keep building on this. Except for when I do. Oh, whoops. Ooh, actually. No way. Should I do it? Okay. Well, I mean, why not? Okay, now. Oh, jeez, it's gonna be bad. All right, whatever. We can get around that. Let's just work on this part. But yeah, mess with one goat. Anyways, and it's true. There are certain things that there's really not much coming back from. I mean, I say not much because I'm sure even if someone did that, there's still life after that. Like, not a great one for a while. You'd have to probably move away from anybody that knew that you did such a thing. But, and that's the reality with a lot of things. And that's why prison needs reform. That's why we really should stop just throwing out years willy-nilly, is because people learn. Okay, well, here's the other point about that. If a kid gets in trouble, you don't put him in timeout for a week. And that's the best way to look at it. Is like that's what we're doing with adult people, full-grown adults, and not even full-grown a lot of times. Because honestly, and this isn't something I learned until much later, until I was actually of that. Well, no, it was like early 20s. Anyways, your brain doesn't stop fully developing until your mid 20s, mid to late 20s. I don't remember exactly what it is, but I know it's not 18. And so the fact that we can go off to war and kill people at 18 is just ridiculous. And I know I could catch some flack for saying that, but it's true. Like, you wonder why all of these people, wait, why do they keep coming back with PTSD? Well, maybe because everybody that kills somebody comes back with PTSD. I mean, it's not that hard. Like, if you kill somebody, you might be a little messed up. You might be a redneck. No, you might just be tricked into killing for whatever reason. Like, I mean, it's not for fear of being invaded, and it hasn't been since World War II. Like, and I'll just say that right now. I mean, and I do. Well, let me reiterate. I support my government to the extent up until taking a life, probably. Unless they're trying to take my life. Then, that's tit for tat and you're dead. So, but that's how I live. Like, if someone were to come at me with a gun, I would do something. But they're coming at me with their fists, I'd probably try to, like, deflect. Especially now that I'm older. But, like, if it wasn't, like, a life-threatening thing, I mean, And I've actually gone up against someone like easily twice my size, and it wasn't pretty, but like I'm gutsy enough to do something like that. Like I wouldn't shy away from a lot of stuff. At the same time, though, yeah, fist fight, especially with my buddy that got into trouble for that. Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. So, is it worth it? And how bad can this get? Those are a couple of questions I ask myself when I'm making a more questionable decision. Not illegal or anything. It's more like, would I feel good about this XYZ? Like, if, say, my family found out, would I feel good about this decision? Or the effects of this decision? All of these things that you can think about. Let's see. This is coming along. Like, I keep forgetting, you can still build them like little pillars like this, but, ugh, so easy. I mean, knock on wood, I haven't done it yet. Usually when I'm doing like a run like that, I'll like waste a pane of glass, it'll pop out here. You can also like aim, like do that. That's a safer way to do it, but still, I've goofed. Bull in a china shop. That's gonna be a new catchphrase. Bull in a china shop. Yep. I goof so others can goof less. That's a less catchy catchphrase. Well, let's goof just to do it. Oh, I can't even do it on purpose now. There we go. That's a wasted pain. That's what happens a lot. Oh, and then in real life, I feel like there's glass, and then I gotta sweep that up. Like for anyone who's ever been to a rowdy party and there's broken beer bottles or something, it's like, well, who's gonna clean it? Who's gonna sweep it up and then make sure that they don't step on it? Anyways, it's probably good to mention that I haven't drank in over 3 years, and I'm so much happier because of it. Like, oh my gosh, it's. I think that's also why I don't swear as much as I used to, or make bad decisions, or it could be, from what we were just talking about, the prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed until your mid to late 20s. I don't even know if it's prefrontal cortex, that's just the name that I have in my mind. So I would want to look it up before I'd actually try to, like, say that with any authority, or I would say a quick disclaimer like that. Or not so quick. I mean, I've been talking for like an hour. It doesn't matter. We got time. Yeah, that looks cool. I like that. I mean, this is okay. It's like the beginner, the most basic blocky. It's even got the full square. This one's slightly more edgy or slightly more getting into new designs. Still gotten blocky with the sides, but if you look at it from the side, no, actually that's blocky too. I did it all the way out. So then you get to this. You have a beveled edge on the walkway, beveled edge on the bottom of there. You got no support columns. So if this was in real life, that glass would probably break. Unless it's an illusion and you actually have some support somewhere else that aren't as readily apparent. If you want to do some architecture or engineering marvels, you can just build something in here, have it posts sticking to it from like a central cylinder, have spokes. Yeah, there's ways, but I mean, that's why I love Minecraft. You could build in just ridiculous buildings like this, and it might not make sense when you look at it all the way through, but at least, like, yeah, it's there. All right. Oh, geez. Actually, it's getting pretty late. I think we're going to call that. I at least got the sound working, so that's good. So, all right, everyone. Oh, and one other thing. I might do more Twitch streams like this, especially on the weekend, too, because, like, I was thinking about doing IT streams, not so much for the feedback, and that's the thing, like, and that's why I've been so scarce streaming, is because, like, it's fun, talking to people, don't get me wrong, but, like, there's a lot more pressure when you got to interact with people. It's like, I mean, well, not a lot, but, like, especially if people ask, like, weird questions, and it's like, how do I answer that? And if I don't delete this right after I get done streaming, my answer could be forever on the internet, and actually, it still could. I mean, people could be live recording. I don't know. It's if you understood, and that's the cool thing is like a lot of kids, younger and younger, are understanding computers more and more. Hence, they're a lot less likely to act up, even though their prefrontal cortex or whatever it is isn't fully developed. There's that accountability piece, and that's why keeping people in check politely and with respect but still telling people when something is wrong. Like, hey, I don't think that was all that cool, or maybe that was a little too far. There's a lot of ways to say it, but in the end, let's see where the didn't I have a bunch of pumpkins that I just randomly put somewhere? Huh. Oh no, that's right. I came with a few pumpkins. Yeah, yeah. Look, that looks really cool. I mean, it doesn't make sense because it doesn't sit on top of a tree. Also, I was harvesting dirt. That's what these giant canals are from. Ooh, maybe I'll make canals. Like fill them with water. Anyways, yeah, that doesn't make sense. I mean, it might if that tree was up and no, it still just doesn't make sense. It's just hanging. And that's what I kind of wanted to do is eventually just get it to where it's like it might be in a tree, it might not. Just build up into the sky. But anyways, yeah, it's getting late. I gotta go do some other things before I go to bed. But yeah, I'm so old. Anyways, good talk. Good talk. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, what I was actually saying was, I'll probably do more stuff on the YouTubes. I like Twitch; it's fun, but then there's the whole process of I have to move it over to the YouTube. Like I wish Twitch saved streams. Like I think that would just be really beneficial to their whole organization. But at the same time, I understand what a stretch that is, both for liability purposes and there's all sorts of factors as to why that's not a thing. But YouTube, yeah, they've got it. They've got content monitoring a lot more too, and a lot more resources than Twitch, I imagine, being Google and all. But well, no, Twitch is Amazon, so it's like the dueling fates, or like the two big giants, the tech giants, be like, hey, we just want you to share contact that benefits the greater good. Not really. That's what all my streams are trying to do, but no, at the end of the day, you could still justify that. You could be like, yeah, if we're trying to do entertainment to make someone's day better or make someone happier, whether or not they're doing good elsewhere, that might not be affected with streaming, but well, and maybe too. Sometimes all it takes is someone to talk to when you're going through something, so I could see that. But let's see. Yeah, I got a ridiculous amount of llamas. I got to take them over to the llama lounge. I did a YouTube short on that. That's the other thing too. YouTube, you could just do like a short video. It was like boom, 15 seconds. Like I think I like those better, just because then it's like, okay, that's cool, and then people don't have to sit for like an hour. I mean, unless you're trying to learn something, then yeah, you got to sit for hours and hours and days, and not just listening, but doing too. When it comes to computer science, you got to go and write the code. You got to test it. You got to see, okay, what if I tweak this? Like, what changes is that going to make? Or, oh, let's go drop off the pumpkins. But yeah, oh yeah, that's right, because we didn't have room, right? Yeah, I was trying to like empty that out. Uh, I could take all that stuff there and put it in one of my other random chests. So just random stuff. Like, I don't know. I have a whole. Actually, let's take a look at that because I don't know when the next time I'm going to stream, or at least stream Minecraft is. Like, just showing the build. So, yeah, that's my melon farm. Several layers. Well, melon, and then also I did one layer of other crops: wheat, carrots, potatoes, beetroots. And of course, I think I did walk up here earlier, but yeah, there's my cactus farm. There's a giant. You gotta be careful because, yeah, you could walk up and over. Yeah, that might be a thing. But anyways, and yeah, this is my giant mob grinder. This giant white structure in the middle. But oh, what I was gonna show you, um, this thing. I actually made it look like it's got some damage. It's disk storage, hard drive. Just because at one point I was trying to make this place, make it make sense. Like those could be the CPUs, each spinning a disk, or reading. Or actually, wait, no, it's not how it works. The disk spinning is just the memory. The CPU is like That would be like over there, like some kind of building or some other thing. But yeah, you could have spinning disks from memory. That's what I meant to say. And then you could have like solid state hard drives where you go. There it is. Although they're not solid state. I don't know. That's why I abandoned the whole thing. I only made that plaque because I started it and I was like, oh, that'd be cool. But then like I think I did the same thing that just happened. Anyways, yeah. All right, so I'm probably gonna do a lot more streaming on YouTube. It's gonna be more variety, but I am gonna do the second video for the GED. I've done the test like several times, the practice test. It's not too hard, but then again, I also have a college degree and a certificate in cybersecurity, so not too hard for me isn't saying much. Like, what's that Einstein quote? You're not going to get very far when you judge a fish on how well it can climb a tree. I mean, and that's the other thing to remember. You're not dumb, even if you don't have a lot of these skills. You might just have different skills, or you just might not have had the opportunity to get these skills until now. And even an opportunity isn't enough. You also need empowerment, you need patience, you need encouragement, stuff like that. Even if it's just from yourself. But I mean, of course, it helps when other people that you're watching teach you these things. Be like, and don't worry, because that's true. You're going to bang your head against the wall for like hours. I mean, there's a reason not everybody does tech. I mean, if everybody could do it, and actually, that's not true because anybody can do IT and anybody can do software development. Like, it's just a matter of how patient you are and how stubborn you are, basically. Oh, jeez. All right, well, that was a good hour and a half of your life that you won't get back. Oh, wait, no, that's the thing. What I was saying is, if you go to a 4-year university, you're going to sit in so many lectures. You're going to be so used to listening to people talk that watching streams like this is going to be a drop in the bucket. And that's why I do these things, is because it's like, at least while you're learning, you're being entertained. Like you're watching some stuff go on. It's fun. I get distracted. You get distracted. It's a good time. And you might actually learn something. Not might. If you watch these videos enough, you're going to start thinking like me, talking like me, and that may or may not be a good thing, but at least if you start thinking in a philanthropic mindset of, hey, what can I do to help out those around me? And remember, not with putting yourself out. If it puts you at such a disadvantage where you can't sustain yourself or your happiness, then there's no point in doing it in the first place. And that's why a lot of people don't help other people, is because they think it's all going to do that. Maybe they've been burned by helping someone sometime, or I don't know. It doesn't take much. And then they'll remember it and it'll forever be burned in your mind and be like, oh, well, maybe I don't want to do that. So, um, yeah, there's a lot to show this place. Like, if I were to actually do a tour, see, even I have like, I have a cow farm, I have a chicken farm, we got amethyst floors, got all sorts of cool stuff in here. Yeah, look like chains, makes it look like it's hiding. I don't even know what this stuff does. Like, yeah, it's a button. There's no reason for it. There's a reason for this button. Or pressure plate, sorry. And then I tried to do that with all the doors. And there's a bed, just because I needed a bed when I was doing non-peaceful gameplay. Buddy made that. Um, yeah. Armory. Enchanting area. Start of a hidden room. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of this is about... It's very similar to my code pen. All my unfinished web development projects. I just kind of just left off in the ether. Yeah, I got a lot of this stuff random. Yeah, and it branches off that way. I've got like a roller coaster going on underneath. Well, that's actually that's not only an unfinished project, that's a mothballed project. So originally, this roller coaster, not even roller coaster, this railway that connects my other village or my buddy's village. Oh yeah, and there's my art, not mine. Minecraft's, Mojang's. Yeah, Rickrolled. Anyways, that goes all the way up there. I got more extensions here. There's the bottom of the hard drive, a solid state. And then there's the hard drives or the disks. Got random stuff. Oh yeah, that thing. My buddy showed me this. It actually like kicks you out. Am I gonna do it? Yes. Vroom. And then boom. Also, you gotta be careful because if I have to chase it, there we go. I don't want to chase it. Okay. Anyways, yeah, that track or that rail used to go all the way through here. It lines up with it, and then you go all the way up and up and up. Oh, yeah, I'm not doing it. And it just stops up there. It's very anticlimactic. In fact, we could do it this way. Huh. I left a cart here. Okay. Come on. You have more momentum than this normally. Oh yeah, and this isn't powered. So now, ooh, I wonder how far it goes the other way. Oh, this could hurt. Not really. You can't get hurt by doing this. There, boom. Oh, you can suffocate. Anyways. Actually, does this even go anywhere? I know I said it'd go do other things, but this is a sad reality. I'll keep doing this for a while. Alright, I gotta force myself to get off. And, alright, so I'll see you over there. Either more Twitch streams, I don't know. I might still do this stuff. I prefer watching other people stream on Twitch. It's more fun. But as far as just rambling to myself, I like the idea of just doing it on YouTube because then I don't have to transfer it over. Because I do that with all my streams anyway, if you didn't know already. But, alright. Have a good evening, everybody, or day, or whatever it is, and I will talk to you next time. Alright, see ya.